I got my hair to look nice, but that's the issue when you go in bold, I suppose. Oh, the secret's out now. Bollocks to it. If you're a film fan like myself, then chances are you've got quite a lot of physical media, and some of it can be quite rare at times. So I thought, why not go through the rarest pieces of my collection, pieces that mean the most to me, that sort of thing. And I've got quite a stack of things to go through here, so let's get started. The first, I'm going to have these as a two-piece, because even though they're sequels to each other, they're kind of in the same realm. Men Behind the Sun and Black Sun, The Nanking Massacre. These are two heavily sought after movies by T.F. Mao. These depict the horrendous atrocities of the Japanese army during World War II. They were conducting experiments on people in a camp called Unit 731. Japan still denies this to this day, sadly, but there's evidence of it happening. But it was basically a biological warfare camp that they would just do human experiments on people. It's very, very bleak and harrowing and not very nice. But both of these movies are very important because they shine a light on what happened, even though Men Behind the Sun is quite crudely made, and this one's dubbing is absolutely atrocious. It's really bad. I think it was just ripped from a VHS that they'd got the rights to or something. But Black Sun and Nanking Massacre, though, is a different kettle of fish altogether. They actually use historical photos from the time and try and piece a story together, which is pretty cool in my opinion. This one's got a huge budget to it. It's got some very, very graphic scenes of sexual violence and just, it's a massacre and it's just not very nice. But if you can stomach that kind of stuff and you like exploitation cinema, like kind of Holocaust, that kind of stuff, and I reckon you'll dig this. I picked this up surprisingly cheap, considering how it's out of print now. I believe I paid over like £3 or £4 for it on eBay. That was like 2 years ago. So this is it was quite a shock when I thought, no, this has got to be just the case or something. No, this is the full movie. I was very, very chuffed with that, definitely. If you can find this online, or you can find the British version, which is a little bit cheaper, give it a watch. It's something I would recommend watch once and never again. It's, like I said, it's quite nasty. So this next one in my hands I've had for a good number of years now. I've had it since I was a child, and it's Johnny Morris. So if you're unfamiliar with Johnny Morris, which is probably every single one of you, unless you're born in the 70s and 80s, Johnny Morris was a TV presenter from the BBC. And no, before you say anything, even though he's on the BBC, he was not a nonce, alright? He would basically go to like zoos and interact with the animals, that kind of stuff. He would basically play the role of a zookeeper. And the magical thing behind this was that even though he was just handling animals and mucking them out and interacting with them, he would mimic them as if they were talking to him. A bit of like a Dr. Dolittle kind of thing, I suppose. But it was great because he did all the voices, male or female, and it had this sort of wonderful sort of charm to it. I can't really describe it. You got to sort of see it, and it's quite sweet. It's quite well put together, even though it's dated by a huge number of years now. I cannot find a copy of this online aside from eBay. But yeah, if anyone can find this online at all, please let me know, because I want to relive my childhood a little bit. It's an absolute belter of a 60-minute episode of just a compilation of all the stuff from the 70s and 80s. So, yeah, absolutely great fun. Love it.
Wow! Ooh, dear. Yeah, you played too rough. Yeah, well, I haven't finished yet. Don't bother with him, Henry. No, don't bother with him, Henry. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Look out!
Now this one is very controversial, heading back to the shores of Japan again. It's the Guinea Pig series. I obsessed over this when I was like a late teenager, because I watched people like Horrible Reviews and the likes of that, and they were basically like, review the most disturbing films ever made, and Guinea Pig films were on that category. And I believe it was Charlie Sheen who called the FBI, claiming that what he'd seen on videotape was real when it was just flowers of flesh and blood. This one, on the other hand, this is the German collection. I know Unearthed Films made a collection of this ages and ages ago, but it's so rare now, it's so expensive, it's ridiculous. This is by far the best option you can get if you want to watch the original Guinea Pig series from Japan. The American ones are good too, but this one is where it's at. I mean, yeah, okay, it's, how should I put it, it's a bit shoddily made today and you can sort of see how fake it all is, but at the time people had never seen this before. If you can get this on the cheap, highly recommend you watch it, or even if you get the unearthed versions, give them a gander because they're fantastic in their own right. Don't pay over £200 for this or stupid prices because it just ain't worth it. So this one I used to watch on YouTube all the time. I was obsessed with it. I loved it as a child, and for some reason it was taken off YouTube for years, and I all of a sudden really wanted to find it. It's the Sonic the Hedgehog movie from 1999. Now this one, on the other hand, this one goes for disgusting prices. You can watch the full thing on YouTube for free, go on that route, but I got this luckily very cheap. I don't know why it was going very cheap, but it was like £15 brand new on Amazon, which was a steal, and it's a brilliant little anime from the 90s. I believe it was for television in Japan, I may be wrong, but that's what I've heard online. This is the one with Metal Sonic in it, and Knuckles has this really fantastic like, cowboy's hat on the front. This one's really good. The dubbing on this is subpar at best, but it is iconic.
Oh no! How is it that you're still alive, Sonic? What? What's wrong with you? What are you doing? No! Don't come there, you pervert!
The animation in this is like just glorious. It's quite funny from time to time. It's over 60 minutes long, so you can't really complain with that. Now this one I was trying to find for a good number of years, and for some reason, like nothing was coming through my net, so to speak. It's Harmony Korine's Gummo. This film is truly bizarre. Not the bizarrest I've ever seen, but it's bizarre. It's essentially about a town that gets turned inside out by a massive tornado and they haven't really recovered from the damages. But there's something really off about the characters and they all don't seem normal, and it's all a bit of a, like they haven't left civilization sort of thing. They're all gone a bit mad. And that's really the best way I can describe it. It's kind of like a day in the life of them, I guess. I did a review on this on the channel years ago, and somebody from, I don't know who works with, what was that I included? I included an interview with Harmony Korine on, is it David Letterman? Something like that. I included like a 5-second clip of it with no audio, just him talking to Letterman, and it got copyright striked by David Letterman. So fuck you, David Letterman. I might do a re-review on this one day, who knows. But enough waffling. Gummo is an incredibly sought after movie. It didn't do very well at the box office. Had a very limited run in the UK. I think it's only on video you can get it, and that's it. And it goes for ridiculous amounts of money now. I believe Criterion are doing a re-release of this, so hopefully we can stop trying to find like international versions of this movie and just have something that's everyone can access. So really weird movie, amazingly shot, and beautiful soundtrack as well. Overall, a good bit of indie cinema, would recommend. Now these two were in a particular order, but these really are the holy grail of my collection. I already discussed on the channel before. Chosen Vakui's 1964 Pinocchio and his other movie, Rubber's Lover. These two movies are what sort of solidified my descent into underground cinema in a way. I was massively into Shinya Tsukamoto's Tetsuo the Iron Man and wanted to discover more films like it, and these were the two films that were considered to be cyberpunk, I guess. So it was really awesome to have these, and I got them really cheap, brand new. This is going back maybe 7-8 years ago. It was still expensive, it was £20 for both DVDs, but when you look at it now and how badly these copies are priced, you think, Jesus Christ, it's not worth that much. The films are great, don't get me wrong, but they're not worth over hundreds of pounds. 964 did get a re-release on Blu-ray recently by Media Blasters, so you could probably get a cheaper alternative. And really, from what I've gathered, it's all of the extra stuff, it's got all the bonus features from Unearthed on that Blu-ray, so really, you're not really missing out on much. But it's a shame that Unearthed Films didn't re-release these movies on Blu-ray or as like a limited double feature sort of thing, but hey, we can't have everything, can we? If you can get these dirt cheap, add them to your collection. If not, they are on YouTube for free. I cannot stress that enough. That's it, guys. That's the rarest films in my collection. I imagine people out there have rarer things than me, but that's the most personal stuff I've got. Things that have been in my life for a long time, and you know, going from like, you know, one set of films to the next, and that journey of finding things and, you know, wanting to discover new movies. But I imagine people out there have got, you know, rarer stuff than me, and if you have rarer stuff in your collection, let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys have. It's always interesting to see. But this video wasn't really made to be like a, oh, here's, you know, this video isn't really about, oh, here's the most expensive stuff I've got in my collection. No, it's about, you know, personal stuff that you found along the way that's somehow very expensive and hard to come across. If you are a scalper that sells things for extortionate amounts of money just because you can,
Go fuck yourself!